Hey digital investors, welcome back to another video where we go over the daily crypto news and everything that is happening within the space. The market today and yesterday was showing us a bit of blood. Most cryptos seem to be pulling back now. Bitcoin back up from roughly 29,000 is where it landed. We'll see what happens. Looks like the market needs to continue to stabilize, but nonetheless, there's just been some crazy news coming out over the past few days, right? And everyone's trying to figure out, has this news, is this news why Bitcoin tanked? Why did Bitcoin dump? And really, it seems like when Bitcoin dumps, everybody tries to pin one source to it dumping. And while the news could, have an effect, it's the news aligning up with the technicals. It's a number of different factors that lead toward a shift in the momentum of what is happening, right? So we had a lot of upwards momentum at Bitcoin going up in price, and that momentum is going to wane. And we've been getting some indicators that momentum is waning for a little bit now. Now, whether or not this run is over and we have fully exhausted that momentum, we'll see what happens. I don't think we have reached that point yet. I think we could still get even a much deeper correction from here. But long term, I still do think that Bitcoin $100,000 targets are still in the cards, right? It's mainly about how are we going to get there, right? What is that journey going to look like? Because we can all pretty much see the destination that we are going towards. With that said, let's address a couple of things and really start getting into it. So one of the things that everybody's trying to pin the sell-off on is this Bitcoin double spend news that dropped yesterday, right? And in short, there is no double spend that actually ever happened, and there's a lot of crazy things people actually selling because of this. So let's get into it. Exactly what happened. I would say this news plus the tax news is probably what most people consider what caused the Bitcoin sell-off. So the Bitcoin double spend media headline has certainly spooked investors, but it's a misunderstanding of how the Bitcoin network operates. In this case, a chain reorganization of one block occurred, which is a fairly common occurrence. Put another way, no Bitcoin was double spent because no new coins were added to Bitcoin's supply. Instead, the same coins from the same wallet were registered in two different blocks during a typical split in Bitcoin's blockchain. The reason this does not qualify as a double spend is because only one of these transactions is valid by the network, while the Bitcoin in the other transaction cannot be spent because the network does not consider it valid. Okay, so the main thing is the network did not consider both of these to be valid, so therefore it didn't double spend. There's a lot to this article, but we're just going to scroll down. I want to get you guys mainly the main points that you need to understand. So no, a double spend didn't really happen. The supposed double spend first became news yesterday after BitMEX research reported on block 666,833's abnormalities on Twitter. Here's what actually happened. Someone sent 0.006 to 0.063 Bitcoin to this address, but set the lowest fee possible, 1 Satoshi per byte, or less than a fraction of a cent per byte of transaction data. Since the fee was so low, the transaction took a while to confirm, so the sender tried to outpace it by sending what's called a replace fee transaction, or an RBF. Instead of the RBF replacing the slow transaction as intended, however, the lower fee transaction cleared first and made it into the block that was mined on the longest chain. Meanwhile, the higher fee transaction found its way onto the stale block. The final result was 0.0062063 BTC is recorded as existing on the address on the irrelevant transaction history, while 0.000144499 BTC exists on the same address but on the relevant transaction ledger. So right now, it might be a little confusing. I'll try to look past the numbers, the satoshis, the wallet addresses, and stick to the main points. Okay, so they go over the importance of 6 confirmations. Technically, the same Bitcoin was spent twice in this scenario, but one transaction was double spent to an address on a transaction history that the Bitcoin network does not consider valid. In this scenario, the important thing is to know that yes, there might be 2 different versions of the same transaction, but ultimately only one will be accepted. A double spend typically means a sender tricks a recipient into accepting a transaction that the sender actually sends to itself as well. This is why it's considered best practice for merchants to wait for 6 confirmations before a payment is considered final to avoid an outcome like this one, right? And that's what we know. Bitcoin takes 6 confirmations. So technically, Bitcoin did exactly what it was supposed to do. The Bitcoin network did not confirm both of this, right? This potential double spend, it did not confirm it as valid. Only one of these ended up being valid on the Bitcoin network. So it worked exactly as it intended to. However, people make assumptions, people jump the gun too quick, and people make emotional buying and selling mistakes, right? And that's exactly what we saw across the board, and not even just retail, but even other people that you consider smart money, people with big holdings of Bitcoin, they even sold. So this is a Bitcoin double spend. Spooks software firm into $4 million sell-off. Next Tech sold 130 Bitcoins worth roughly $4 million following suspicions about a potential flaw in the blockchain. The price of Bitcoin was sent down 11%, and the software company Next Tech Solutions sold off all of its Bitcoin as a result. But analysts say the double spend never happened. So that was all of the hysteria that basically went on yesterday for the most part. I'm pretty sure most people at this point now know that the double spend was fake. I mean, I'm sure some people out there still don't know, but I think for the most part, much of the market now realizes that it was mainly just FUD. And Bitcoin has recovered to $33,500. So we are not back at $40,000, but we did get a bounce from those lows that we set in. Again, we'll have to see what the long-term momentum looks like along with the short-term, right? Again, I'll reiterate my position is that long-term, I still think that we are in a bull market. Bitcoin would have to drop considerably lower and drop through a lot of support that it has built up for me to, turn bearish on it. So long-term, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin, still very bullish on the rest of the crypto market. In the short term, however, that momentum might be shifting. We could see a deeper correction or, again, news and price action has such a large effect psychologically on investors that things switch on a dime. Now, let's continue moving on because we have a lot to go over today. GBTC has a new competitor in the OTC Bitcoin trust market. Another way to buy Bitcoin in stock form has resurfaced. So GBTC is Grayscale's Bitcoin trust. It's called GBTC. That is the ticker, and it's the Grayscale's Bitcoin trust. Now, a firm called Osprey Funds is offering an OTC Bitcoin trust under the ticker symbol OBTC. The trust is similar to Grayscale's Bitcoin trust, known as GBTC. So could we potentially be seeing some competition for Grayscale here? The Osprey Bitcoin Trust provides easy access to Bitcoin, says the firm's website, with a 0.49% management fee. It is the lowest cost solution. Osprey is an entity that builds digital asset solutions for intelligent investors, claiming that OBTC as its flagship offering. OBTC began being quoted on the OTC market today, Friday 1/15. As of 1/14, the product met the requirements to become quoted under the ticker OBTC in the OTC market. Over the next 30 days, the fund will pursue DTC eligibility, and after February 14th, all additional market makers are allowed to quote it. After that point, it will be considered fully launched. And the reason why I show you guys that is because I understand there is a lot of fear in the market, right? Bitcoin long term, for some reason, every time Bitcoin starts going down, people think it's going straight to zero, but in all of Bitcoin's history, it has never gone straight to zero. There's always just seems like there's something that makes it recover. So I want to show you guys this. This came out on January 15th, but keep in mind, we're getting players on a daily basis still coming into this market, right? We had Grayscale. Most of you guys know Grayscale. Keep in mind that now Grayscale is going to have competition, right? We're going to have another Bitcoin trust on the market, and I'm sure more and more will come. And in my opinion, the more players in this game, the better, right? It just means the more money that is flowing. Plus, with competitors, these companies have to innovate. They have to get more competitive against each other, and it just makes for an overall much better, more competitive market. It's more consumer friendly, right? You don't want one Goliath running everything. So now, moving away from Bitcoin, we have Theta Network to be used for micropayments in the World Poker Tour. Theta Labs today announced that World Poker Tour, the premier name in live poker entertainment, has integrated the native Theta Network protocol and T-Fuel micropayments on its platform. Guys, this is a a huge announcement for Theta. World Poker Tour is excited to fully integrate Theta Network peer-to-peer streaming infrastructure on our new Theta-powered channel on WPT.com and provide millions of our global fans with a superior viewer experience. The integration with Theta allows WPT to lower their video delivery CDN costs by 50% or more, while increasing user engagement, viewing times, and monetization. This is unlike the existing providers on the market, which charge a high upfront cost for streaming. So not only is engagement going to increase along with view time, those are two very important metrics, guys, but they're lowering their cost by 50%, right? And if you can lower somebody's cost by 50%, they're probably going to sign with you. Mitch Liu, he's the co-founder and CEO of Theta. He says Theta Labs and WPT continue to lead the media and entertainment industry in the adoption of blockchain tech. This integration marks an important milestone and establishes WPT as the best and most cutting-edge televised poker product in the world. Yeah, I would say so. If you're running on Theta, you are definitely on some of the most cutting-edge technology out there. As we know, as of right now, there is nothing out there that is even coming close to rivaling Theta and what they do. Your prices for today, you have Bitcoin at $33,500, Ethereum at $1,250, Polkadot 17, XRP 27 cents, Cardano 35 cents, Chainlink at 22, Bcash at $445, and Stellar sitting at 27 cents. There's your top 10. Let's also take a look. Tezos sitting at $3, Aave is up, sitting at $195. Theta at $194, Cosmos at $8. So that's IOTA at 46 cents. So IOTA has also popped up. Market is looking a little greener than it was a few hours ago, and definitely a little greener than it was yesterday. Your fear and greed index for today. Finally, yesterday we were in greed at 75. Today we are now in fear at 40. Guys, we have been in extreme greed in the 80 to 90 region for over 2 months now. And now we are back in fear, which we haven't been here in a long time. You have to keep in mind that your average retail investor, the average sentiment in this market has been very greedy, right? People buying and expecting to make money tomorrow, and it's been like that for 2 months straight. That type of stuff does not last forever. Again, we knew a pullback at some point had to happen, and when that pullback happens, you have fear, you have emotional selling. That's why Bitcoin dips so much. And if you can recognize the type of market we're in, you know, not all dips are for buying. If we're in a bear market, you don't want to buy every single dip down to the bottom. But when we are in a bull market, the best thing you can do is buy the dips, and the dips always feel like it's the end of the world. It feels like it's the end of Bitcoin, and that's how it's designed to make you feel, right? It's designed to get the people who don't have strong hands to sell, and smart money goes and buys it all up. As of right now, guys, we are still in a bullish structure. This entire crypto market is in bullish structure from a technical perspective. Until that is invalidated, we have to play this market like it is a bull market, right? We can't see clear indications of a bull market and play it like a bear market. It's never going to work. Just like we can't see clear indications of a bear market and play it like a bull market. That also does not work. You have to go with the trend. The trend is your friend. If you guys enjoyed daily cryptocurrency updates and news, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're notified every single day when I upload. Also, be sure to tap the like if you're enjoying it, and let's get into some Ripple stuff. Former Ripple advisor to become US Comptroller of the currency under Joe Biden. Former Ripple advisor and US Treasury official Michael Barr is tipped to become the next US Comptroller of the currency. As we know, Brian Brooks was the US Comptroller of the currency, and he has now stepped down. So that's a position that needs to be filled. So very interesting to see if Barr is going to fill this, as Barr was a Ripple advisor back in 2015, worked in the Treasury Department under the Obama admin. At the time, he said the then financial system was outdated and could do with a revamp, one that Ripple's high-speed DLT and payment service was geared for. I mean, you really cannot make this stuff up. And this is him in 2015. He said, "I'm excited to be joining the advisory board of Ripple Labs. Our global payment system is badly outdated. I think innovation in payments can help make the financial system safer, reduce costs, and improve access and efficiency for consumers and businesses alike. So just the fact that we could have an incoming comptroller of the currency who simply just recognizes that our system is outdated and, we should inject some technology into this to not be so outdated, I could definitely be bullish about that. Barr would be responsible for overseeing the flow of the US dollar, the nation's credit spending, determining charters for public and private banks, along with many other things. But that is the main thing you need to know. We possibly have the next US Comptroller of the currency being a former Ripple advisor. Very crazy. As we know, Ripple's team is huge. It seems like they have their hand in everything. And XRP, from that major sell-off, it's been sitting pretty strong at these price levels, right? So we'll see what happens for the XRP token. But Ripple definitely looks like it's they're still making progress despite everything that is happening to them. Now we also have this: crypto industry will compete with banks in 2021, says Ripple GM. This is a bit long. It goes over some different things people say from Ripple and kind of puts all into one article. So bear with me here, as there is a lot to cover. I'll try to go through it as quick as I can. I've also tried to only go over the important stuff, but there's a lot of important stuff though. So Ashish Birla, he's the RippleNet general manager, believes that the line between the crypto industry and banks will blur, expecting digital assets to be able to take a larger share of the market from companies within the legacy financial sector. Birla added that the entries of companies such as PayPal, Square, and Robinhood into the crypto industry has enabled adoption into the mainstream. More competition from the fintech sector to the banking sector driven by tighter regulation. This is also reflected in the crypto companies that have begun to apply for banking licenses, such as the company backed by Visa, Anchorage. The tide is turning. It's possible that we could even see a fintech or cryptocurrency company acquire a traditional financial institution this coming year. According to the company's general counsel, Stu Alderati, regulations have left the blockchain industry in a state of limbo, and Alderati believes Biden's team will be able to understand that maintaining innovation is important for both the public and private sectors. Alderati stated, intelligent, well-thought-out regulations communicated effectively and uniformly applied can help level the playing field and unleash innovation and further mainstream adoption here in the U.S. Now, we've heard from Ashish Birla, we've heard from Stuart Alderati. This is from Michael Zokowski. He's Ripple's head of DeFi, and this is what he goes over. So he estimates that DeFi will have more traction in 2021. He also believes that the best DeFi protocols will consolidate their positions or be adopted by large enterprises. He says, but the truly useful ones, most likely the simple applications replicating financial services like wrapped assets or decentralized exchanges, should continue to gain momentum with users. As a result, the DeFi sector could see growth in users, protocols created, and interoperable bridges between networks and applications. Cardano could be one of the biggest competitors in this regard. Consequently, Ethereum could lose market share as the leading blockchain in DeFi. Zokowski predicts that Ethereum could lose a significant percentage of their TLV in its protocols. The TLV, guys, is the total value locked within Ethereum protocols. And he estimates that it could lose about 25% by the end of 2021. That's a pretty big number by the end of 2021, guys, right? And as we know, Cardano is steamrolling ahead, right? I see a lot of things coming out with Cardano, and it seems like they are getting close to what they have. As we know, they have their hard forks coming, they have their upgrades coming, very exciting things coming for Cardano and ADA. The XRP ledger will also take a place in the DeFi race. With the launch of Flare networks or even the Hooks Amendment, the XRP ledger will become DeFi capable. He says, we're expecting the asset tokenization trend to accelerate on the XRP ledger, particularly stablecoin issuance with multiple production deployments and corporate products built on new and improved tooling. So that was a lot said in this article, right? From DeFi to regulations to crypto blurring with the banking space. There is just so much disruption happening in this industry. It is very hard to stay on top of everything that is going on because of the sheer magnitude of how many things are going on. What I want to know in the comments is, how do you guys think Flare is going to affect the DeFi space, right? In this one here, they talk about Cardano could take up to 25% of Ethereum's market share. Once Flare goes live, what do you guys expect with that? Do you guys see a mass migration to it very quickly, or do you think it will take some time to build up? And with that said, let's end off here with MicroStrategy buys additional Bitcoin worth 10 million. NASDAQ listed MicroStrategy announced Friday that it had purchased an additional 314 Bitcoin for $10 million cash. That brings MicroStrategy's total Bitcoin holdings to 70,784 BTC, worth more than 2.28 billion at current prices. That is an absurd amount of Bitcoin and a crazy valuation of 2.28 billion, right? That is a lot of money that is locked up inside of Bitcoin, right? That is all Bitcoin that MicroStrategy owns. So it looks like the whales are definitely buying this dip. At least some of them are. At least MicroStrategy is. With that said, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, subscribe, like, everything like that. I make a video daily going over Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything going on in the crypto space. So do make sure you subscribe. Keep in mind that nothing I cover here is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I am just documenting the daily crypto news in this crypto bull run, and that is it. With that said, I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. Have a great day, everybody.